So, backstage bullshit. And we got Helen and Jeff, and we're just bullshitting. You just ask about cake.
No, I want some cake. So I want to know if there's cake. Sometimes there's like cake on the menu.
Yeah.
But then there's no cake, and I didn't want to get my hopes up.
Who would do that?
You mean, really?
Yeah.
People do that?
People do that. They're like, oh, there's chocolate cake. Oh, no, we don't have that anymore. Like, that's the most, but this is what I want to tell you. So, like, at the end of the show, you go up there and you're like, hey, I've got a new special. My name's Les McCurdy.
Yeah.
Please watch it. YouTube.
Yep.
Right? It's 32 minutes. If you cook a lot, you can time a tuna casserole. And I went, oh my God, I made a fucking tuna casserole today, and it took 30 minutes in the oven.
I know that.
And I started watching your special, and I stopped it to make the tuna casserole. So I could have.
Mistakes were made, is what we're saying.
Correct.
Mistakes were made.
I should have, like, if I had seen your show and the instructions, I would have done a much better job. I can't believe you said that.
Absolutely.
But what a coincidence is that?
It is crazy.
But I literally made a tuna casserole today.
While listening.
No, yeah. And then I was like, okay, I got to finish making this tuna casserole. Because remember I told you earlier, I
Yes.
I started watching it because I wanted to make food, because when I get home late at night, I have to eat again. And you notice the pattern.
Gotcha.
It's all about my eating.
Well,
and I bring a bag full of food.
Because the thing is, I am so stupid to all of this online, because I'm not concerned with it. You know what I mean? And so, and I'm of that generation, right? Mm-hmm. So, knowing that mine was the special, it's open bar special, which you have one, I have one day, Jeff.
Yeah, no.
One fun day.
Way to not make it awkward. Go on about your open bar specials.
I don't publicize it at all.
Really?
Because I don't want, I feel like come see me live.
Yeah.
Come see me live. Like, I'm so old school. Like, I feel like I don't want to see clips. Like, my daughter's in LA.
Yep.
She went to see this comedian. I go, oh my God, that guy's so funny. You're going to have such a great time. And I've seen his clips, and he's in TV shows. And then she texted me afterwards, of course, with the review. I told her she was working at a comedy club.
Right.
This was at the Hollywood Improv. She
right.
went, all famous people. She goes, he wasn't that funny. I go, what? That's a funny joke. Like, I literally know that. She goes, yeah. I mean, she's grown up in comedy clubs. She's seen, but when you're on stage, like, delivering a joke and everything, it might be a joke. Like, if you just hear it in a 2-second clip, not even funny. So I feel like it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around back to people that are able to go on stage for an hour and maintain the audience.
Well, I don't think that I don't think that that's ever not been the situation. I mean, it's not with me. The thing is that I know that Jeff and I were talking about this a minute ago, was that, there's this whole, there's a new phenomenon. There's a new sheriff in town.
I know.
Well, the thing is that, now someone, and it's not a bad thing. Now someone can go and put something up online, okay, and it hits, and we all know to create a following is very hard to do. It's very hard to do. For every one person that does it, there's thousands trying, and there's not a formula to it either. We were talking a little bit about consistent, but I'm telling you, there's no formula to creating a following. If there was,
everyone would do it.
Every the top agencies would be doing it. But
I'll also tell you that the like Instagram and Facebook they change all the time.
Correct.
Because I had someone from Instagram contact me and said, hey, we want to have a phone call with you.
Mm-hmm.
We want to help you create more because we see you're creating. So they called me. They told me when to be there by the phone, and they gave me all these suggestions. That was maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And those suggestions are not... They said to, like, attach a song that's popular and then turn the volume down. So the song's in the background, getting it in the algorithm, but
so
the
if you
vocal
search for the song, that's still coming up.
If they search the song, it comes up, but it's only me doing jokes. They suggested that I do that. But I feel like there's all these little tricks and backdoor things, but that changes all the time.
I know.
Algorithms change all the
time. That works for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Years ago, a guy who was the head of, I think it was Clear Channel, the radio station thing here in this area, and now he's
are we on camera?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm eating my peanut butter sandwich.
That's
so
fine. Yeah.
that's what I do in between shows.
Do you,
Yeah,
want,
that's
do you want
okay.
them to zoom in?
Yeah.
That's all
Is
right.
that what you were asking?
Have
No, but
peanut-
I may.
Then you'll have cake later.
I definitely am having cake.
Uh-huh.
Later. Go ahead.
So he shared with me that, of course, they have buku money. And he goes, when all this was just Facebook. This is back before Instagram. And so they're wondering how they were trying to break how Facebook does stuff. So
right.
see so they can throw a lot of money at just trying stuff and see what happens, right?
Right.
And they did. And they had meetings and they had all these get-togethers and all this stuff with experts, marketing and all this stuff, doing all this stuff, top-level DJs trying stuff. He goes, you know what we found out? There's no rhyme or reason to it. He goes, let me tell you something. I'll tell you. Don't poo-poo a stupid idea, because we've seen brilliant things go nowhere. Brilliant. And stupidest fucking shit you could imagine blow completely up.
That's the point of the internet. Is still stupid stuff.
Well, it goes. It's hard to say what will catch fire, and the thing is that if you catch fire and now all of a sudden you got a following, but you really don't have a show. And there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
They really don't have a show. They haven't been doing it long enough. They certainly do not have stand-up comedy headliner chops.
I'm going to tell you a story. I was on Facebook the other day, and a famous comedian who is famous among us, those of us who have been in the industry for forever.
Right.
I'll say who it was. It was John Heffron.
Yeah, I know John.
Very funny.
Yes,
He
hilarious.
put on Facebook, so he publicly put this. He said there was a club that wouldn't book him because they said he didn't have enough followers.
Right.
And I was like, that made no sense at all. I mean, he's fantastic, and he has a bunch of followers. He doesn't have no followers.
Right.
It's just, I guess they had a number in their head
Well,
that somehow.
Yeah.
Let me take you to a higher level than that.
Okay.
I was talking to a top-level agent at one of the top 5 agencies in the country about a comic that was moving to L.A., that was a great headliner, blah, 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 blah. And I said, hey, take a look at him. I said his name. He goes, I know him. And I go, oh, cool. What do you think? He goes, social media sucks. And I went, well, he goes, Les, let me tell you something. You know, used to when we were agents, you went out, you searched for talent, tried to develop somebody. He goes, those fucking days are over. They're over for the most part. He said, we sit in a meeting room, we throw some names around, but there is a number. If you don't have a certain level of attention on social media, you're not even coming into the conversation. I don't give a fuck if you're the most brilliant motherfucker we've ever seen. You're probably not coming into the conversation.
It's such a different industry.
But there's people like Janine Garofalo who don't even have a social media presence at all. They just.
But Janine made it famous before all this popped.
Yeah, that's
you
true,
see.
true.
So the thing about it is, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying there is this. So when I started looking, I Google search, just a couple weeks ago. So I Google search open bar comedy, and I start scrolling through. And as I'm scrolling through, there's open bar, there's dry bar, then there's just some other stuff. Orny Adams, who's got his own thing or whatever. Here's what I noticed. A few things I noticed. One, open bar is low budget because Ron doesn't have a wad of money. Mm-hmm. He's starting on a shoestring. He's building this thing, right?
Yeah.
Dry bar has shitloads of money. Shit fucking loads of money behind them. Okay. Open bar comedy, the number 1 and number 2 most views of any comics are Dale Jones and Carolyn Picard.
I know.
And they're both at around 140,000, 150,000.
Okay.
That's the biggest on open bar.
Which isn't big.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I noticed that you go to dry bar. So open bar, which has 100 and something of them out there, tens of thousands. Dry bar starts at hundreds of thousands for people I never heard of. And so I went, oh, they have marketing money.
Mm-hmm.
They have marketing money. Obviously, there's a difference. It isn't just randomly out there. They have marketing money behind it to push these things out there to get those numbers up. That was obvious to me. That doesn't happen by accident for all of their comedians. It doesn't. There's no way. They've got to have something. They've got bigger money behind it. But the thing that I saw that I noticed, 500,000. If you can't get up to 500,000 views, you're not going to get any kind of serious. You're not something anybody's really going to look at seriously. Orny's last special has 3 million views. You know what I mean? It's like, so, and Orny comes here, and Orny has a following.
His audience has found him, yes.
So this is wrapping around to my 30-minute timer thing. Here's my deal. I was telling, because I figured this. I've got an email list here at the comedy club, right? These are people that sign up for our emails, right? 60,000, right? It's about 60,000, maybe 70, something like that. Well, that's not 60,000 individuals. That's 60,000 households.
Right.
So you can double that number easily. Let's just double that. So to 150,000. Then we have our social media, each one of those platforms, what they're hitting. Then there's my own, I've got a personal database that's about 1,000, households. So I go, shit, I should be hitting about 200,000 just off of people I already know, already like me.
I watched it.
Yeah. So
I count as a view.
That's right. So my thing is, how do I get that number up? So what I'm pushing out there is, look, guys, if you really like, watch it once. You're probably going to watch it more than once. You might show it to somebody, but you can run it every day. And here's how you do it. Use it as a timer.
I love that idea.
Use it as a timer. I go, because what I'm trying to get people to do is going, for me, I go, as a thing, I need to get this thing up to 500,000. So what I want all of my fans to do is when you get up sometime during the day, go over, just leave it on your phone and hit view and just throw it over there. That's all you have to do. Let it run every fucking day.
We'll see how that goes.
I know. I don't know. Have you tried that?
No.
I haven't. I mean, because it is that thing of you're just gaming the system, really, is what you're trying to do. Because otherwise, to get that many views, obviously, that's probably beyond even my numbers of people. Somewhere on the lines, it has to just catch fire. It just has to somehow catch
I can tell you, in the case of Caroline, who's very funny, but when we did live stuff, sometimes it translates into ticket sales and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't even use her as an example in an open bar, but in general, sometimes somebody gets a huge amount of views and something, and then there's it I don't know how that translates into ticket sales. It doesn't always.
Oh, I know that because I know that how many times I get comics. Dry bar is a good example. Someone does a dry bar.
You could do a dry bar if you wanted to.
That's been playing here.
Right.
And they go, my dry bar is up to 2 million views. They don't sell ticket one here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know how that, not only that, but it's like Jason, our media guy, what we found haphazardly is that got a lot of views is old jokes, stupid old jokes. One of our local guys, Johnny Hobbs, told an old joke, and he said, before he said the joke, this is an old Buddy Hackett joke that I love. Did it, clipped it out, he put it up. It got 1 million views in no time. And I said, okay, let's all do old stupid jokes. And we found that all of them were getting a lot. And I think there was something about a joke that looks like a joke, smells like a joke, acts like a joke. It's just a joke. It's so easy. It's easy to digest. And there's no anxiety around it. And it's just a fucking joke. You're not going to be offended. It's just a joke. It's just a jokey joke.
And then attention spans today. If you're put out a setup punchline joke, I think it's easier to get a lot of views because it also is a quick, hey, while you're at work, you can watch this, as opposed to, God forbid some of these bits that you do are obviously much longer. Some of my bits are much longer. And nobody has 90 seconds anymore to watch a joke, it feels like.
And the big point on all this is you go, not this million number or whatever. So somebody goes, oh man, I just want to let you know the little thing we threw up got 1.5 million, things. I go, can we get a dime of you? I mean, can we get a motherfucking dime?
Yeah.
A dime? No, you can't get nothing. I think it's crazy.
YouTube is the place where you can monetize that.
You do, yeah.
But the people that make a living on YouTube it's a ton of work. I actually watched a video from a YouTuber about what her real day-to-day, how much effort goes into being
a full-time job.
Full-time job, like full-time content creator. It's like you're a videographer, you're the writer, then you're editing. Like it's a full-time job video.
Well, and that was my point here, was that I have a staff to do that.
Right, you do.
Right,
I do.
yeah.
So once...
Are you trying to get famous on the internet?
I would love to get famous on the internet. I would love to get famous.
After all these years, that's what you want.
Well, it's like I've been...
Because everybody already knows who you are.
I'm a late bloomer. I'm a late bloomer.
It was a long game for
There's
you.
a lot of people know. There is a lot of
It's a
people know
marathon, not a sprint.
who I am. Well, it's like when I started sending out the thing today, just my control group kind of, and one was an agent, and I went, look, I go, here's the deal. I go, here's when you're going to be able to book me. I said, and this is it. This is all there is to it. I said, as soon as we hit this level,
right.
I go, as soon as you can get me in 2,000 seat venues at $50 a ticket, I want 95% Ritz-Carlton suite, first class air, Boddington's beer, Camus wine, dark chocolate,
Oh my God,
almonds.
you got it all. He's got his.
I do. I got
green
it
room
right.
list in his
Oscar
head already.
cigars
I like that you stay humble.
and a nacho with no fucking cheese whiz either. I want real cheese on my nacho.
You could literally just tell Pam to go to Costco and get most of that.
I know, and she will.
And she will.
The thing
I like
is,
how grounded you plan on staying. That's
well,
what I appreciate.
You know what's kind of funny is that Josh Sneed just sent me back a thing. He goes, "I love you. You're so crazy." I said, look, there's no. I mean, I sent it to a bunch of comedy club owners that are friends of mine, and I went, "Hey, by the way, not looking for a week."
Oh, God. I don't even know who Josh Sneed is. Is he a comedian?
Yeah, very good, very good.
Because I thought
nice
he was a
guy,
comedian.
funny dude.
Yeah, great guy, great guy.
Yo, because I thought you were talking about agents. I was like, I think I know that's a comedian.
But I go, not
okay.
looking for a gig. But on the other hand, at 68 years old, almost turning 69, what is funny is that it's still fun. And so
Can I open for you in these $50 ticket, 95% of the door?
Yeah.
Fancy. I mean, I don't need my own green room or green M&Ms.
Oh no,
or
you get
whatever.
all kinds of shit.
Okay,
If you're,
good.
if you're with me, you're in.
I'm the opening act. I'm the Keith Robinson.
It's like
here,
like Dice
Tim
when he
Allen.
comes. His opening act has to have a room at the Ritz-Carlton because
Okay.
he has a room at
Okay,
or the
that's
Four
a-
Seasons
yes.
or wherever fucking
Like that.
somewhere nice.
Pam is my agent, actually.
Oh,
so-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a double bump.
Yeah.
I think it's against the law,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Oh my God.
But it's like certain things like.
But you're right. You have a whole staff here.
I have a whole staff.
You should have a meeting and say, I want to be famous.
Oh, we're
Everybody
already.
go. That's your job.
We've already had that meeting.
Oh, you have that
Oh yeah, the
meeting?
meeting's
Okay.
already happened.
That's a weekly meeting.
Oh,
We've
that's
already,
great.
we've already had the meeting.
Okay.
There's a plan. There is a plan.
How can Jeff and I help?
What's
This
that?
cause. How can Jeff and I help this cause?
View it
Oh,
every
okay.
fucking
But
day.
I already made the tuna casserole
I know.
today.
I'm going to make a
But
lot more
to-
tuna casserole. There's
two
also-
pizzas. Two pizzas in
pizza,
30
okay.
minutes.
There's other casseroles. There's a
Okay.
broccoli
All right.
casserole.
That's
Oh, there's
true.
plenty of 30
30-minute
minutes.
I ran out of
macaroni and
casseroles.
cheese.
And by the
Macaroni
way,
and cheese. Yeah.
my special hit as soon as you get on the treadmill.
Okay.
Then as soon as I
30-minute
say my
workout.
thing,
Your
Yeah.
optimism that I can do
32
32 minutes
minutes.
on a
Listen,
treadmill.
fly right by.
then you do a little
Okay.
wind down. That's the thing.
How did you decide what material to do?
I'd already had a chunk of material that had been developed after the pandemic.
Okay.
And some of it was pandemic material like we all did. So I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then that morphed in. So
I was going to say, I didn't see any pandemic material.
No.
Yeah.
So there was this whole chunk that I really loved about being a grandfather, about medical marijuana, the difference in the marijuana we smoked way back when, and what's out there now, and what we thought it would be, and that kind of thing. And then there was this bit that I'd been doing for a while about that's the false sense of self-worth, which is about Lyrica, which is about me watching this drug commercial for a drug I didn't know about called Lyrica, and realizing haphazardly, I thought of a little one-liner based on the commercial, just a little one-liner. And then I started thinking more about it. And I started thinking about the side effects, because all those commercials are, oh, here's the wonderful thing it'll do for you. And then the understated voice comes in and rambles off all the don't sue me, don't sue me, don't sue me bullshit that nobody listens to. And I went, no one pays attention to side effects. No one does. Many people.
In general in life, people don't pay attention to side
effects. They don't pay attention to it. They don't pay. When you get a new drug from your doctor and you go get it, there's a sheet with side effects and drug interactions. You don't read it or nothing. So I realized that. So I just was like, I wonder what the side effects to Lyrica are. And I Google searched it, and there were 68. And I went, there's 5 funny things in 68. I guarantee you go, there's 68. There's some funny shit in there, right? So I start reading through them, and I see that one of the side effects is a false sense of self-worth. And I started laughing out loud. And I went, it's based on that. So doing that bit and it was an applause break at the end, because I would say all of U.S. It's obvious all of U.S. Congress is on Lyrica.
Yeah.
Boom, applause break, easy. Right. That led into the marijuana stuff. Then I knew I wanted to do this stuff with being older now, a grandparent. So it kind of got into that. And then my biggest challenge was tight. Getting it tight, because I'm not tight. I'm a rambler.
Yeah. I hadn't noticed.
I know. Yeah. So that's how
I actually have another question. Why don't you just also do a dry bar?
Nobody's asked me.
I could get you a dry bar.
Okay.
It's not, I don't want to say it's not that hard, but they want more people to do it. You have to do a clean 30.
Yeah.
I had an agent from New York reach out to me, say, we do a dry bar, all booked. But they said, only do stuff like that your grandmother would like, or that you do in front of children.
Correct.
And I said, I don't like parameters like that. So it doesn't sound like it's something that'd be fun for me. But it is certainly a better.
Yeah.
If your goal is to get looks,
there's a budget behind it.
There's a budget behind it. It's
they fly your ass out to Utah, don't they?
They don't. No.
Oh, not anymore?
You break even. You break even with the money.
Yeah, they pay you for what it costs to do everything.
Right.
Oh, so you can do it wherever you want.
No.
You do it out there.
You do it in Utah in front of a Utah audience.
Right.
And then but I do feel like you demographically might.
Will they pay for you to go skiing?
No.
What?
Pam will do that.
But they do put you up at a Ritz-Carlton with the chocolates and
I
don't know when you did the try. Yeah.
I'm at that point.
But I mean, I don't think that would be a bad idea. I mean, you have nothing to lose.
Nothing. At this point, I found, and me and my partner Ken Sons, who we started as a comedy team, we've been doing comedy together.
You guys could go do it as a comedy team too.
Well, the thing that we both found about the process was that it was really fun to sit down and put together a set like you were going on the Tonight Show.
Right.
Tight, very succinct. You're really
right.
And then is
that
this
actually
right?
be a great idea? What about you and Ken doing a dry bar?
Well, I mean, we would be totally open to anything like that. One of the I mean, at this point, I mean, Helen, right? I've got a script for a movie that I've had in my head for 25 years. I finally, now at this age, am actually putting it together, and I'm collaborating with a friend of mine who's written several plays. I got with her, and I was like, look, I don't write dialogue. I've never written dialogue. I said, I'm going to send you over the treatment. Well, in one day, she had back 15 pages of dialogue. And now it's come to life. So it's fun. I don't know where to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. I started writing my memoirs. I've got them 200 pages into it, and that's been fun.
Yeah.
We'll sell whether it goes anywhere. But at this point in my life, it's fun. I've got the time. And like you say, I've got nothing to lose.
Right.
And so I'm at a point where I can, and what am I going to do otherwise?
Play golf.
I do that a lot too.
Yeah, okay.
And
There's
that's
a lot of why not.
And that's
well, why not do that?
Why not?
Why not do it? And I think that goes for whatever. I mean, if you think you can, why not?
Why not?
Why not? What's holding you back?
I think it's a different world in the world of ageism. I think the show business has really changed.
It's had to because of this.
And this big
how
boomer
we're all
demographic, it's also, they've got so much money, they got to follow the money.
That's right. Well, look at here in Saraseniorville. I mean, I love that. I adore this. It's my place. It's my place on earth. And that's this whole area. That's Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice. It's this whole area. Mm-hmm. But they're lovely. But it's older. And my Brett, and I kind of like it. And so do our comics coming in. I mean, everybody loves these audiences.
The food here is amazing, by the way. All the restaurants are incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
Best restaurants.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Best golf courses.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it
play
is.
Golf,
but it's really I mean, it's just I don't know where I'm spacing out where we're going now.
You're talking about Sarasota and how you like it here, and how the demographic of the country is getting older.
Is getting older, and that's always been our demographic. My bread and butter in this club is 55 to 85. I'm telling you, that's 70% of my crowd. And we love when we get younger people in. It's great. When we do get some younger people, but my bread and butter is that older crowd. They're a great audience. I mean, they're smart. They're sophisticated, especially in this area. They're not prudes at all. Mm-mm. And I think sometimes.
But you weren't here yesterday. That's why I looked at Jeff.
Were they prudy?
They were
a little.
They were a little tight yesterday.
A little tight.
We'll just say tight. Yeah.
Yeah, they were a little tight.
Okay.
They were a little tight.
Most shows.
No, I would say the older show. The early show, which had primarily older people,
where they were okay. It was the later show. I think because of what has happened in the world in the last couple weeks, everybody does not want to hear anything except like a poop joke.
Yes, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so I tried to talk about, and they're like, oh no, we want to hear about poop.
Well, it's almost like the only time I ever censored comics, only time ever in my whole career that I censored comics I hired was after 9/11. And I said, please don't talk about 9/11.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's like that
because
now.
they're coming here to escape it.
I wasn't talking about the assassination attempt. I didn't even get close to there. I did that bit that I do about the revenge fantasy of Hillary Clinton becoming president so she can, wear the, go to the inaugural ball and wear the dress with the stain on it and bring in her own interns. It's a joke. They didn't even want to hear that.
And then you did 20 minutes on 9/11. No, just kidding.
I did not. No, I did not. No, and I didn't even say the name Hillary Clinton. I just said, there was a lady president who had her husband cheat on her.
Right.
And I've had a husband cheat on me, so it was a revenge fantasy. I didn't even say her name. And I went and they were like, wait, are she tricking us? Are we hearing about politics? It was like.
Well, right after Trump got into office, we had about the first 6 months where anybody did anything political. We literally would have audience members, more than one, yell out, no politics, no politics.
It's tight. It gets tight.
Yeah.
And of course we would go to them and go, you don't get to decide. The comic does.
Speaking of which, now the second show has started right now. Did Jeff and I just talk to each other while you're on stage, or can we?
You can stop.
Okay. I didn't know what
we
happens.
can stop at that point.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll kind of wrap up, but it's interesting in that the one thing that's interesting is that there's a lot of comics out there now that are not doing what I deem a stand-up comedy show, because my definition of a stand-up comedy performance is your main goal is to get as many laughs as possible.
Agreed.
Your main goal is laughs.
I agree 1,000%.
And there are a lot of people now that are doing a show with a point of view, a very strong point of view. And what they're presenting is a show that wants to influence your point of view and wants to enlighten you and teach you about something they believe. And they're using humor, as a good speaker does, to prop it
Right.
up. To prop it up. But that's not a stand-up comedy show. And once again, it goes back when somebody's coming to see when their fan base is coming in.
Right, yeah.
You come see Dave Chappelle. Well, that's what Dave Chappelle does, okay? But you're a Dave Chappelle fan, so you know that's what Dave Chappelle does. You're not expecting a, poppy stand-up comedy show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's okay. But I think it's a disservice when people are being sold that this is a stand-up comedy show when it's really not.
I think it veers more towards an evening with
Correct.
an individual as opposed to
Correct.
here's a comedy show.
Like George Carlin, admittedly, in the last 10 or 15 years of his life, said, I'm not doing a stand-up comedy show. I'm not. I'm doing a one-person show, an evening with. And I've always found with audiences, as long as they know what they're coming to see, they're okay with it. But when you blindside them, when they think they're coming to see this and all of a sudden you sucker punch them with this, that's where I have people get upset in the audience. You know what I mean? And on the politics thing, when people have gotten pissed off, we've gone up behind them and we go, why don't you listen to the whole piece?
Yeah, let the joke
before
finish.
because you're afraid that they're going to attack your beliefs.
Yeah,
that's what you're afraid of.
Whoever whatever you believe.
Right, whatever you believe, which also means that you're not real solid in what you believe.
Right.
Probably that's probably a red flag. So anyway, because
I was doing the goofiest of jokes. That's a goofy joke.
Well, the thing is,
People-
any comic that's trying to get the most laughs, will play both sides of the coin because it's twice as many laughs.
Right. Which I do.
Exactly right.
Yeah, but
So.
they don't want to hear it. It is the temperature in the room.
Holes and poles, baby. Holes and poles. We go anything going in or out of a hole in your body. Hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Was hilarious. Will be hilarious.
And on that
always.
note,
That's gonna
Les
be my new
McCurdy, watch his special,
Holes and
32 minutes, Holes and Poles.
And Helen Keaney, watch her special. I'm sure there's a hole and a pole in it too.
I'm not going to lie. There
You
might be
get
a
a line,
couple.
I get a pole, honey. Hey,
Hey.
hey, thanks you guys.
Thank you.
That's some good bullshit.